Talking about the Temptations today on the Music Universe podcast. Did you really think I was going to go, my girl? See, I can't even.
Because you just did it. Why do you think I think you were going to do it to kick us off? There's been several episodes you've kicked us off with screeching, not singing, but screeching.
Yes. So
and you could tell that story where that originated.
Right. We're on the road to Vegas in July. We're going through the valleys and the desolate plains.
This was December.
This was December. Right. In December, 2 months ago, we're driving through the desolate plains of Bakersfield to the beautiful deserts of Nevada and Las Vegas. And we're singing along to Garth. And I'm singing, or I'm the only one singing. I'm thinking Buddy's going to sing. I'm thinking his daughter in the back's going to sing. Mm-mm. I'm singing along, and he looks at me. He goes, "Will you stop that?" I said, "I'm singing along." He goes, "No, you're screeching along." So now my singing is called screeching. But I'll tell you what, you can groove along to the iconic Temptations. Their new album, Temptations 60, is out today, January 28th. You can get it wherever you get your music. Fantastic album. We've had a chance to listen to it. There are collaborations with K Sparks and, of course, the legendary Smokey Robinson. Just an incredible R&B record. Really, really cool. And we got to talk to all 5 group members. Now, you might remember late last year, we talked with the founder of the group, Otis Williams. He was receiving some honors, and we got to talk to him about his career specifically. But today we welcome, in addition to Otis Williams, and I'm going to do this in order of seniority, Ron Tyson, Terry Weeks, Willie Green, and the newest member who joined in 2021, Tony Grant.
Yeah, it was a great interview. They were super nice. They were at their Los Angeles rehearsal studio prepping to tour this year, where it's supposed to take them into Europe in the fall. Dates as of this recording haven't been announced yet, but we're looking forward to hopefully them coming near us, or if we're in one of our travel modes, we can maybe see them. I don't know how the dates are going to pan out. Maybe we'll be able to catch them when we're in Europe later this year. But they weren't wearing microphones, so if you have a little trouble hearing them, I tried to adjust the audio a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of an echo in the rehearsal studio where they were getting
you want to
ready
listen to them more than us, of course. But great interview, and glad to have legends on the Music Universe podcast.
What an honor to have legendary group, The Temptations, celebrating Temptations 60, an incredible album. I've had to listen to it all day. I've been moving and grooving. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to kick things off by first welcoming all 5 of you to the Music Universe podcast. And actually, I want to start with the newest member of The Temptations, Mr. Tony Grant, who joined in 2021. If you could talk about what it feels like to be a part of such a legendary group at such an important milestone.
I will start by saying that I'm no longer a part of a dream. Now I'm a part of a legacy. I'm a part of a trend-setting group, not a trend-following group. I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful to Mr. Otis and the rest of the guys for allowing me to be a part of this group and have this opportunity. But one of the greatest parts for me is this is a movement. I'm a part of something that it transcends any amount of records I could have sold on my own. It doesn't matter. I could sell millions and never reach the lives or touch the lives that this group has touched throughout these years.
I'm gonna have you as my governor. You'll be my speech man.
Otis, you are the original member, the oldest original member of the group, and 60 years is quite a long time to be doing something like this. What makes that your prime thing to do? What makes that your go-to thing? Is it the legacy, just everything involved with it?
Yeah, staying with it for so long.
Well, when we come into this world, we all have a role to play. I'm thankful for God to let me do what I wanted to do ever since I was 14 years old. And to be coupled with 4 guys that I have around me that has transcended from 64 to now. Like I've always said, you could have tipped me over with a feather before I would believe I would still be having fun 60 years later, doing something that I enjoy doing because we bring some wonderful happiness to the world over. They love this group in spite of ourselves. So we know what we have here. So we try and handle it just like it's a newborn baby.
Yeah.
Ron, you are the second most veteran, let's say, of the group. And so you came in 23 years after Dr. Williams founded it. And the sound has stayed so incredibly consistent. What makes a Motown sound, and what do you attribute the Temptations' consistency in their music?
Well, I think what kind of makes the Temptations sound is that we've grown up in gospel backgrounds. And through that, in the songs that we sing, the harmonies blend together, give you that gospel feeling. And so we're like not a gospel group, but we're right on the edge of it. You know, we're just singing R&B songs.
Yeah. And I think that's important in this day and age too, that you guys being, together 60 years with, new members here and there, that it shows the longevity that groups, original groups with original music and original sounds can still keep it going and really impact a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. It's a labor of love. You got to love it. And, when we're on stage, we see people literally crying, at the thing of remembrance or the love of song. They find themselves as through us and as escapism, so it's a wonderful bridge that we cross over into a lot of different emotions to help people get through these trying times, because this pandemic has really put a slam on a whole lot of things. But fortunately for us, we're still busy as a armpit.
Absolutely. Speaking of labors of love, I want to get into this album, Temptation 60. Like I said, I've been listening to it all day. I've been cleaning up around here, getting ready for travel and packing and listening to the music. Take us inside, whoever wants to talk on this, take us inside the genesis for making an album to mark the 60th anniversary. Where do you even begin with a catalog that deep with new music? Where do you begin to do an album that celebrates 60 years?
Well, you better start 59 years of other material. But it's been an absolute labor of love. It was a testament for O's, his vision for what he wanted to do on the 60th, because we actually did the first song that he recorded with this group. And now we migrated all the way to 2022. And man, we're still recording. That's the beauty of this. And if we didn't have such wonderful fans that have stayed with us for all the changes, for all the many years, they're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Once you give it to them, authentically and as best you can, they'll accept it.
Yeah. Do you guys find that you attain newer fans as you release new music and even hit the road?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have a lot of young people. Well, I don't want to give the cutoff on what that age is, but young folks, it's very few shows like ours that you can go out and actually see live, because it's a family-friendly show and you can bring your entire family to see this show and nobody will get offended. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think adding when new members come in, again, Willie, you've been with since 2015, so you've been with throughout this pandemic. Tony, you came in as things started to open back up. I think that helps as well, find that new audience, and I think helps the music speak for itself and the music last.
Yeah, Tony's the youngster in the group now, so he's like a conduit to that generation. And, I mean, he's an old youngster, but still a youngster. Love you, baby.
And you guys are actually in Los Angeles at your rehearsal studio. You're prepping to go out on the road. When can we see you? And what can fans expect besides that family-friendly atmosphere when they do come to see you?
Well, they will definitely see what the Temptations has been noted for 60 years. We still do our hits, My Girl, Since I Lost, that's Since I Lost My Baby, but The Way You Do the Things You Do, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. And I tell the guys, like we have a new album out now. I said, fellas, there are certain songs we can never take out of the lineup. My Girl, Get Ready, Treat Her Like a Lady. So what we have to do is try and insert songs in around what people come to see us perform. Because I never will forget, long time ago, we took out My Girl when it did over 1 million and what have you. And so Paul said, well, we can take My Girl out because it's done what it's going to do. So we went out on the stage and we did the show. And we would call almost every name except the Child of God because we didn't have My Girl in there. So 6 songs we would never take out. So we just have to work with what we have.
Talking about songs that are just so synonymous with the Temptations and performing them for 60 years, it's the most cliche question you can ask an artist, but if there's anyone to ask it to, it's you. Do you ever get tired of singing those hits?
You know something? I've heard artists that's been around about as long as the Temps, if not almost. And I heard with him say, oh, well, we got tired of singing those. You know, I never get tired of singing My Girl, you know, because when I hear him say that, I said, well, then they should quit the business. Because anytime people lay out their hard-earned money to come see you sing the songs that they love to hear, and you talking about, well, we were tired of it, so we took it out, then they should leave it alone. Because you don't do that to the fans that have shown love and devotion. So we know the real side of what's happening and what keeps us out there. We never lose our trademark sound. So like I said, we just add everything in around it. But the Temps are going to be the Temps for what we are and for who we are known for.
So you guys are actually launching a tour. It's going to last through the fall, and you're actually hitting the world, not just the U.S.
Yes, yes. I just left home. I told Tyson to tell the guys that I'll be a little late because the record comes out tomorrow. They're getting ready to jump ahead and send it over in Europe, you know, which is great to hear because it comes out tomorrow. A lot of times companies don't wait till they see what the record do in the States. But we have to do tomorrow interviews for 2 foreign countries, you know, and it's a great, wonderful sound to hear that because I got, after we left rehearsal yesterday, young man said, Mr. Williams, I got your new CD and we love it. And I'm saying, it don't come out until Friday. But I guess somebody said, oh, they go online and buy it, pre-order. You know, so, you know, it's just a wonderful testament that how this group is still being loved throughout the many changes that we've gone through.
Love it. Terry, I want to ask you, you came in at almost exactly the middle, about as middle as you're going to get from 1960, 1997. Now, so you came in right around 30, 35. Now you're headed up to 60. What have you seen has been the biggest change? How has the group changed yet stayed the same over those 30 years that you've been with them?
You know, not a whole lot has changed except the face, the commitment to the music, the commitment to the choreography, because every night this audience is as educated as any audience I can think of. So anything you do, they know it. They're singing along with you with every lyric, all the songs. So it's not like it's an easy road. Go out and have fun, but you have an educated audience in front of you, and they demand that you respect this music. Absolutely.
We did a show not too long ago, and it was a little girl, I guess she was about 7 or 8 years old, and she was in awe of looking at us doing the move. But when we started doing My Girl, she tried to do the step that we were going to say, that baby girl, no Temptation music, but that will stay with her as she gets older. So we are
Parents are raising us.
Parents are raising us. Yeah.
We're all attached to, if we're singing, we're dancing. We have to. It's a marriage. You have to have it. That's always going to be for the Temps.
Yeah,
That's our signature.
Yeah.
And that
Perfectly dressed, tight choreography, and great harmony, and great lead singing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what you guys were founded on, and parents are teaching their kids right when they bring them to a Temptations show or something, you know, like that's old school and is real and authentic. And you guys, congrats on the Broadway Success. And it's now on tour and it's doing extremely well. I mean, that's not something anyone could ever, of course, predict, but how does it make you guys feel that this show moves from Broadway now to the rest of the country and maybe abroad? Who knows?
Well, I must say, when we started singing back during the 60s, I never would imagine that my life story, Temptation life story, would be on Broadway.
Mhm.
So I saw it when they started breaking it in. First, I saw it in New York when they were really hit Skeleton Crew, but I saw it in Berkeley when they were really defining it. And the people in the audience, they knew who I was, so they were sitting there, look at the audience. I'm at the show. Then they would crane neck slowly around, looking at me. And I said, yeah, I'm crying too, because it really touched my heartstring to see, the Temp's life story on Broadway. And now, like you said, it's out on the road now. So it's a wonderful testament. I give it all to God, because all we wanted to do was sing.
Right.
And it's such a great American story.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
No. And I know I believe I read that it's closing on Broadway, but it's going to live on the road, like Buddy said. And I have to say, as somebody who lived in New York, I don't have a question here. I just want to tell you guys, just for perspective, I lived in New York for 7 years. And in that time, jukebox musicals came and went. Ones that were thought they were going to do absolutely excellently, just absolutely took a dive. You Ain't Too Proud is up there with the Jersey Boys as being one of the most iconic jukebox musicals of all time. And congratulations on having music that translates well to that setting. Truly.
Thank you. Yeah. I never would imagine, and we're blessed to have that kind of support across the board, even over in Europe. I mean, like I tell the guys, when we go to England, they love our, rundown, but there's one song I know we better not go over there and not do, and that's Treat Her Like a Lady. So we try and keep honest what they love to see the Temps do, because we're noted for our choreography and our harmonies, and everybody is, tall, nice looking. So we try and have the right ingredients for the girls to come out and say, "Ooh, I like him," So we still stand true to what we're known for.
Yeah. Now, do you think that, because I know it started right before the pandemic hit, and then you guys had to, obviously take that time off. Do you think the pandemic helped just bring it to even monstrous highs?
Yes, absolutely. Because we've been a little distracted here, right?
No worries.
Yeah.
You know what? See, what we do is like an escapism form, because for what the world is going through, I'm not just going to say America, because when I hear like Italy was shut down, it was almost shut down or have been shut down. So when they can get where they can go out and enjoy themselves and forget about the tale of woe that we're living under, that's what we are about, So we are happy that we can be of that kind of special anointment to help people remember what's happening.
Yeah, I want to bring it back to the album Temptation 60. I was just turning my notes over to the track listing. You've got Let It Rain featuring Kay Sparks, and you've got Is It Gonna Be Yes or No featuring Smokey Robinson. So I know, Dr. Williams, we had you on the show before at length, and you talked at length about the collaborations with Smokey, but I want to know the collaboration with Kay Sparks, how that came about, and what it was like to do that one.
Well, I have to give credit to our wonderful PR lady, Marilyn Duxworth. We were in New York, and she said, "Oh, there's a young man."
Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, Marilyn.
That would like to talk with you about doing a song, on the Temps. And he did some production for Power, 50 Cent's series.
It's a great show.
Yeah, so I met him, and he sat down, him and I talked, and he played me the track. And then I said, yeah, we'll do it, because what I wanted us to do, see, normally when an album comes out on the Temps, it's always with the proverbial fast tune or slow tune. I said, no, we're going to do something different. We're going to come out with a little jazz overtone. And he went in there and added that. And then we came in with the woo-woo-wah, let them know that the Temps are still part of it, but we were featuring another kind of interesting intro into the Temptations. And those that have heard it, because I was being interviewed, and the guy said, yeah, you caught us off guard with that jazz opening. We wanted to do. We wanted to put something else out there. So, yeah, and it's turning out real well.
Yeah. Now, obviously, this album it'll be out by the time this airs, and still brand new. But do you guys ever write ahead? Do you guys ever just put a bunch of songs together and then decide what's going to make the album, what might make the next one? basically, are you preparing another one at this point with just all the music that you guys are doing?
Well, not right now because this one is so fresh and new, but we open ourselves up. We're not just locked into what they do or he do or whatever. I mean, we listen to anybody that should come to us with a great song, because you can never tell. A great song can come from anywhere and anybody. So we stay very open for that because we know that it's a strong suit for the Temptations' existence. Being part of Motown, we've been around so many great songwriters and producers. We know the essence of what it takes to really come up with a great piece of product for our fans to enjoy and continue the love of the Temptation.
Love it. I love it. One last question for you here before we wrap up. We're approaching our 20 minutes here. Wanted to ask if you have, I didn't get a chance to go look and dive into the discography, but if you have recently, or if there are any plans to capture kind of what we've been talking about here, which is that fan relationship with you guys in a live album or maybe a live DVD to capture 60 years of the Temptations.
I'm gonna let somebody else answer that.
I was going to say that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Just made it.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll pass that on. Now that's
You've been doing
Great
some homework.
idea.
That's great. We're gonna keep that open for when we go back in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you gentlemen deserve all of the success and all of the accolades and your place in music history. Truly, thank you so much. Otis Williams, Ron Tyson, Terry Weeks, Willie Green, and Tony Grant. And yes, I did that in order of seniority. The Temptations, thank you very much for being with us on the Music Universe podcast.
Thank you for
man.
having us.
God bless you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
And again, that is Temptations 60, available today, wherever you get your music, out today, right now, January 28th. It is the release date. So cool to have them and to be able to put this up to celebrate 60 years of the iconic, legendary, just a cream of the crop Temptations. Just amazing, amazing. And like you saw there, we tried to talk about everybody's experience in the group because, the next senior person, Ron Tyson from Otis Williams, who started it in the 60s, was 23 years later before he joined. And then after that, another 14 years before Terry Weeks joined, and then another almost 20 before Willie Green joined. And then the smallest gap was between Willie and Tony Grant coming in last year. So wanted to give everybody a chance to not only talk about their experiences in the group, but their own personal journeys as well. It was fun. I have to laugh. This came about because I texted their publicist, who you heard them mention, Marilyn Duckworth, about a non-existent concert in DC. Let me explain. You know this story, but I have to tell our listeners because I never pass up a chance to make myself look like an idiot.
Don't have to try very hard.
Okay. So my friend messages me and says, "Do you want to go see the Temptations at the Kennedy Center?" I'm like, "Yes." She says, "Okay. Tickets aren't that cheap." I said, "Aren't that expensive?" I said, "Okay, well, I might have a way we can get in, and I'll review the show and I'll reach out to the publicist." "Oh, cool. Does my smart behind, does my intelligence kick in and go, you should Google and get some information about the time of the show and what theater at the Kennedy Center the show's in?" No, mine goes to, "Hey, remember me? We did the interview with Otis Williams. Do you think I could get tickets to the concert at Kennedy Center?" Boop, send. "I'm sorry, I don't know about," she sends back, "I'm sorry, I don't know about any concert. Ain't Too Proud, the Broadway show, is sitting down there through the holiday. Is that what you mean?" I guess it is. My friend said it was the Temptations. So because I didn't Google, I looked like an idiot. But it was the start of a great back and forth with Marilyn. She texted me this week. We got to get this in for launch day for Temptation 60. Get it wherever you get your music.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one more authentic and timeless than the Temptations. And as you heard in the interview, they're grooving and moving at the same time, just as they were 60 years ago when they started it. It's a family-friendly show, which don't see that hardly anymore. And you also heard them say that they had some very young kids that show up, and likely become lifetime fans because their parents are raising them correctly on real and authentic music. And it was such a pleasure to have them. And yes, it was a last minute addition to the show, but sometimes those are the best ones that you could ever ask for.
Indeed. For the Music Universe podcast, I'm Matt.
And I'm Buddy. Thanks for listening or watching. If you're checking us out on YouTube or IGTV, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and check us out at themusicuniverse.com. Take care.